Well, hello, and welcome back to Journeys in Middle-earth. We've been having a bit of a Journeys in Middle-earth session over the last few weeks as we plow on towards the final part of the Shadowed Paths campaign, and I have a feeling that it might be this episode. But if my last prediction is anything to go by, there'll be another 2 chapters after this. So, if you have been following along with where we're at and what's going on, there are, in fact, this is the return of the Beard Bros, indeed. Hey Eddie, thanks for joining in, man. Yeah, so we got everything set up here. This is that's not right. There we go. Green screen technology, what fun. All right, get rid of this. I should be able to get rid of. Oh no, what's going on here? Ah, therein is my problem. Okay, get rid of that. Alright, I had it set to Journeys, the Jaws of the Lion setup, but that's not what we want. What we want is this, the battle map, all set up for this final confrontation. And we know it's going to be a battle map because it said so. So if we load up the Beer Brothers here, we've got a bit of a backstory for you all. But as this is episode 9, so this is chapter 10 of Shadowed Paths and episode 9 of the series, and it's Balin and Gandalf trying to figure out what evil's going on in Mirkwood. And we're on Ancient Evils, so this is now going to be spoiler stuff, but I'm sure that you're not here without having seen at least some of what we're doing. Hey Patrick, thanks for joining me. So glad to see some familiar names here in chat for what could be the exciting climax of the Shadowed Paths campaign. I know, I'm excited. Oh, what's gonna happen? Is it all gonna go horribly wrong? I don't know. Ooh, where's my cursor? Oh, I know why I'm getting confused. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, so after facing Nalka in combat, you know this foe is wily and bent on destruction. So Nalka, of course, being the giant evil spider. You have the chance to best him in combat here and show all of Mirkwood that you are true heroes. The next adventure will be a battle map. So here we go. This is going to be some kind of epic final showdown. I feel it. And I think I've set everything up correctly. So there's every possibility as well. If this ends horribly, we could redo it. The game is allowing you to do that now, but I don't know. It might end horribly because I'm not very good at this, or because I failed to get the shadowed crown of the crown of shadows. I seem to have a lot of experience points on Balin that I don't really want to spend. Maybe we take Crushing Blow, actually. Crushing Blow wasn't bad, was it? I think that had damage on it, and if there's one thing we learned about fighting against the elite enemies, it's that damage, big hits. So this says strike 1 in Sunder, so it's not great, honestly. It's pretty basic. See, I'm trying to weigh up whether or not it's worth putting a card like this into the deck. Like, how often am I going to get a chance to prepare this? Balin, in particular, doesn't get to scout very much because one of his abilities is to gain inspiration instead of scouting extra cards, which is useful. And also, I had a comment on the last video that said that I've been playing nosy wrong Gandalf's Power, where it says, it actually does say, this is true, I have been doing this a little bit wrong. Once per round, you may look at the top card of a hero's deck. If it's a card with inspiration, that hero gains it. So I have, in fact, just been giving the inspiration to Gandalf, no matter whose deck he pokes his nose into. Of course, I think, fairly simple mistake. I don't think it's changed the game in any significant way. But I'll remember it for the future. It actually could have come in handy if I needed to get Balin some inspiration. But I think typically I would have needed to get the inspiration on Gandalf anyway, because he requires inspiration to be at all useful. So, yeah, not adding any more cards. T. Carter's in chat. He says he's just finished watching up to session 6. Ooh, exciting stuff. Well, I wanted to get this resolved because we've got so many adventure games that we want to look at, and I wanted to finish this campaign. So we've just been chaining it. But I think if we finish it tonight, then we might do something else tomorrow. And Yogi Bear's here as well. Why didn't they just fly to Mount Doom? Indeed, why didn't we just bring Fly Swatter into Mirkwood? Now, what could we do to get rid of the spider that would have been easier or more straightforward than going to Moria to look for the Crown of Shadows? I don't know. Alright, let's do this. As you prepare to engage Nalka again in combat, you are aware of the whispers of Mirkwood around you. Wait, what? It's just one? Is just one little map? Is one tiny little map. Get out of here, this one. Blam. Oh my god. You are tired and injured from your long journey, but you are determined that this enemy shall not defeat you this way. Is there going to be another, like, 2 chapters to this? Every time I feel like it's the end. When I remember moments ago where I said if we finish this tonight, we might do something else tomorrow. Or we might do more of this tomorrow. When is the Kickstarter roundup so we can all cower as you go all in on Mythic Battles? Yeah, I do actually want to... It's regrettable that we haven't been able to get more Kickstarter commentaries into the schedule. It's mostly just because we've been so busy. In particular, Chris has been very, very busy, and he helps me a lot with the writing of the scripts for that, you know? Although I did manage to play some games on BGA last night. They're not actually Kickstarter games, they're just beta games on BGA. I played Nidavellir, if anyone's heard of that. That was fun. It's the kind of game where I played it on BGA, and I was like, I quite like this, but I don't know if I'd buy it. Because it had this, it's like a sort of blind auction set collection game. I thought it was okay. Like, I thought it had some cool mechanisms, but I played it twice, and the second play didn't feel, like, significantly different from the first play. We were all better at it. Like, the score, it was 3 players out of 2 to 4, but I don't think it would be any good with 2. Actually, I don't know if you can play with 2. But, the second play, we were all, like, it was closer and we were all better, but it still didn't feel, like, distinct enough from the first play for me to think I need to own this. But an enjoyable game overall. Alright, what do we got here? We got Treasures Untold and Time of Need. So we can prepare one of these. This is Balin. When you attack, if there's a search or threat token in the enemy space. So Treasures Untold is a good one, although we've got no threat and no search on the board at the moment, so I'm kind of reticent to prepare a success. But Time of Need is always useful, especially when you have no inspiration. So let's prepare Time of Need, and we'll put the success back on top. Yogi Bear says, Nidavellir looks cool, but not significantly different to games I already own. Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. Like, I really liked the artwork, and the dwarves were cool, and the setting is cool. But, yeah, I feel like there's sort of a middleweight, auction-y set collection game. I've got, sort of, in terms of, like, sort of auction-y set collecty games, a game that always springs to my mind that I've got that I haven't really played, that I'd like to play more of, is Bargain Quest. I quite liked Bargain Quest, actually, and I thought the theme was really fun, and the game was well realized, and it felt like it had a little bit more meat on it, and I never got to really play enough of it properly. Alright, here we go. Gandalf. What you got for me, buddy? Show me some cool cards, too. Prepare. Alright, we've also got Time of Need and Honed Agility, so let's take just double Time of Need. And we can put Honed Agility back on top so we can get an inspiration with that. Several features in the area could provide you an advantage against the monstrous spider. So this is just literally going to be us versus the spider. The following advantages... The advantages are as follows. 1 bush, 2 logs, 1 rubble. Alright, so... Let's move this up here. There we go. Alright, 1 bush, 2 logs, and 1... Oh, where's my friend Boulder? I don't care about rubble. I like Boulder. Damn it. Boulder is the best one. Rubble and log and bush are not really any use to me at all. Oh, rubble and log. Okay. The threat tokens! Now there are threat tokens! Now I need treasures untold. I've changed my mind. The area is clear of spiderwebs for now, but you notice the soil bulging and shifting in places. What is Nulka planning? Uh-oh. Underground enemies? Waiting to surprise attack me? No, I don't like that at all. That's the opposite of what I like. Oh god, what is this? Suddenly it's Tremors. Oh god, what voice did I give Nalka? It's not even been that long. Little ones, you have quite a bite to you, but my sting is much more fearsome. When you fall, I will devour you myself, and my power will grow tenfold. Nalka slinks closer, keeping to the edges of the clearing. Place 1 spawn of Ungoliant as indicated? Where? Oh, there. Okay, cool. So this is Nalka. Nalka is a big, nasty spot. Oh, come on. I believe in you, component camera. You can do it. Maybe you'd prefer not to autofocus, because then you guys would have to look upon this awful monstrosity. Look at that big old abdomen and stinger. Kind of looks like a spider crossed with a crab, you know? I don't know why this thing is not quite behaving as well as it could do today, but never mind. Bah! Alright, there's definitely some kind of surprise attack going on here that's going to cause me a problem. Defeating Nalka once was difficult, but you suspect he is enraged and could be led to overextend. You should act with caution. Choose 1 hero to place a threat token on their hero sheet. This hero will be Nalka's focus. You have a chance of scoring a critical blow using the surrounding terrain. Okay, who should be Nalka's focus? I mean, probably Balin, right? Because Balin's got Guard and the Butterbur Biscuits and Undersun and... Yeah, so let's make Balin the focus. That feels like a reasonable... Also, Balin's got less corruption, just in case that comes into play, which could be important. This evil must be driven from Mirkwood, and you are resolved that it will be your might that will defeat Nalka. Alright. Well, we've only got 4 turns to do it. Look at that. Maybe if we get... Well, actually, potentially less turns if we don't deal with this. Ground shifts with something moving beneath your own feet. I don't like the sound of any of that. What's Nalka's situation? So Nalka looks kind of the same. 2 armor, 2 sorcery, 20 hit points. Cannot apply stun or lethal to this group. You cannot apply pierce or sunder to this group. Wait, what? Oh god, so hardened is new, because we were able to sunder last time, weren't we? This enemy gains extra sorcery. When this group attacks, its fear is increased. So we can't use stun, we can't use lethal, so really we kind of want to just prepare for one sort of big old attack like last time. So I have a feeling like maybe Gandalf starts and investigates the shroud, because Balin's got range, and Balin doing... I mean, the thing is, I need to do at least 5 damage per hit just to break through the sorcery and the armor. And apparently I can't apply Pierce or Sunder, which feels kind of impossible. So I'm going to need to prepare some stuff. Oh god. Did I get new powerful new weapons? I think I just upgraded my armor last time, right? I think let's start with Gandalf investigating this token. It's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Because if I leave the threat tokens alone, I can use those actions to attack the spider. However, if I will generate extra threat and have fewer overall rounds. Whereas if I engage with these tokens, I might get rid of them, buying myself extra rounds, but the time I spent doing that might counteract the benefits. But I feel like if I don't interact with these, something bad is going to happen. So let's search this first one with Gandalf and see what happens. You suspect that Nalka is planning a trick for you. There could even be enemies below your feet now. Oh, test... Well, this is useless. Test agility or wit. No, I'm terrible at both of these. It doesn't matter which I test, because they're both 2. Gandalf's not got a lot of wit, so I guess we'll go ahead and do wit. Already I feel like nervous. Like this. Okay, so we got 2 symbols. Oh, I forgot to use nosy like a damn idiot. Oh god. Already I'm blowing it. You're blowing it, kid! But what I will do is I'll play Time of Need so that I turn both of these into successes. And when I discard it, I can gain an inspiration and scout 1, so that's good. Inspiration! Scout 1. So we've scouted Clever Wit. I just tested Wit. But I've already tested it. I've already done the test, I think. When does Gandalf... What is the order of operations here? Did Gandalf trigger his ability before the end of resolving the test? Are we now resolving the test? In any case, I will proceed with the 2 successes and not use that card, because I'm not sure if I can. You nimbly clear some earth, revealing a small spider burrowing closer to your party. Once you expose it, it flees into the trees. With one tunnel exposed, some of the forest floor collapses into a pit. It will make combat a bit more treacherous if you are not careful. Oh god. Place a pit! Well, what does that do? Right, so spiders are basically tunneling under the ground, attempting to, I don't know, drop us into the pits of their evil lair. After you move into a space with a pit, test agility. If you fail, suffer 2 wounds. Oh, well, I'm not... Oh, God. But that's bad, because now I have to go into that space to do the other token. Curses. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's no good at all. Alright, well, we've got one more action. I was going to move into that space. Now I'm not so sure. Because I'm going to have to test agility. Well, I don't want to leave these threat tokens lying around, though. Well, Gandalf can't move in there and well... Is there any... Also, I should have clicked on these earlier. Are there any special benefits, or are these just regular... Yeah, okay. With Nalka enraged, his focus is narrowed to a single threat at a time. You could use this to your advantage. While in this space, Nalka's focus can discard the threat token on their hero sheet to guard 2. You may interact with the log to stand on it. Okay. The bush. While in this space, Nalka's focus can discard the threat token on their hero sheet to perform an additional attack. Okay. While in this space, the focus can discard the threat token to perform an additional attack and become emboldened. Ooh, emboldened. I need to become emboldened. Because otherwise Balin can't hit Nalka at all. I feel like just going and becoming emboldened right away is probably the way to do it. Okay, so I think Gandalf just moves in here to start trying to deal with this other threat token then. I'll tell you what, actually, before I trigger the movement, let's just use Nosy. Check the top card of my deck, see what it is. Alright, well, it's Grey Pilgrim, so we'll put that back, and we'll gain an inspiration, which we'll probably need because that was not a success. So now we'll move into here, and we're going to have to test agility, which is 2. So let's have a look. Otherwise we're going to take 2 wounds, which is very bad. Oh, well, there's lazy, so I guess we're going to take 2 wounds. So I've got here Splendor Well. Before you suffer wounds or fear, you may spend an inspiration to prevent 1. Now, is it face up or face down? No, it's face up. Oh, after setup, gain 3 inspiration. I forgot Gandalf starts with 3 inspiration from Splendor Well. That's what I get for not rereading the cards before I start the game. Okay, so we spend 1 inspiration using the Splendor Well armor to prevent 1 damage, and then we're just going to take 1. This is not the first time Gandalf's fallen into a pit. Thanks, Eddie. Entangled. When you perform the move action, you may move 1 fewer space. Oh, that's really bad. After you rest, flip this card face down. I mean, it would be really bad on any other map. It might not be so bad on this map. We'll have to see. Because pretty much all spaces are 1 away. And I don't know when I'd have to move 2 spaces on this map. But we'll see. So, that's the end of Gandalf's turn. And we've got Balin to do. The thing is, I think that Nalka has too much defense for Balin to even do anything meaningful, because I can't use Pierce or Sunder. Only Smite is actually useful, and Balin can only use Smite twice. So I think in order to actually help Balin do any kind of meaningful damage, we should walk in here and then spend the threat token to do an attack and become emboldened, and then we can do another attack after that with emboldened. Emboldened adds 2 hits, so that'll help us do some damage to Nalka, I think. Of course, the downside of this is that we're going to be moving Nalka away from Gandalf, who now can't move very far. The thing is, if I move in here to attack Nalka, it's just going to get a ton of repeat hits on me. Ooh. This is a tough one, guys. Let's do it anyway, though. Let's see what happens. So let's discard the threat token, and we'll get to do 2 attacks against Nalka. We've got ranged on Throatseeker, so we're basically throwing axes at Nalka from across the way. Like, Hattie, yeah! Eat this axe, you giant spider jerk. So that's going to be 3 cards from Might. Don't know about this, though. Oh, and become emboldened, right? Do not forget that part. So, Emboldened adds 2 hits. Of course, the minute we take any damage, we have to get rid of it. And we don't have any inspiration either, which really sucks. But at least there's a nearby enemy, so we can hang on to this. I don't know if I'm going to have to replace the token at some point, the threat token, or if now that I've spent the focus token, or if now that I've spent it, it's just gone. Anyway, here we go. Oh, 2 successes. So I could spend Time of Need to trigger Undying Might, but with 2 successes, we can do 5 damage, and we're going to get 2 more from Emboldened. That's a big hit for us, actually. I kind of want to go all in on it, just because getting 2 successes on 3 cards is pretty clutch. Not clutch, pretty rare. And I don't think it's actually possible for us to get a bigger hit without preparing cards here. And like I said, Balin doesn't have great scout. So screw it, let's do it. We'll discard Time of Need to add 1 more success. And we can't use Undersun to get... we can't use Undersun though, because that needs to be used in the same space. It's a melee weapon essentially. So even because we're attacking at range, we can't use that. But this does give us 7. 4... No, this gives us 3 successes. Right, we've got 2. This gives us... Actually, that doesn't help then. We need 4 successes to add more damage. So never mind. Yeah, I forgot that the bottom part of Throat Seeker actually requires 2 successes to trigger. So, we're doing 5 damage, 6, 7 with Emboldened. So that'll actually be 3 damage to the spike, which isn't too bad, I guess. It's so bad, though. 4 hits every time. Hey, Heggers, thanks for joining in. And for joining us on this wonderful Saturday night, where we're fighting evil spiders. No, it can't attack! Ha! I was too clever for it. I don't... Okay. So, I guess we attack again now, because that was our bonus attack from spending the focus token. So now we're going to do just our regular attack again. Ooh, baking a cake for your girlfriend's birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Hegger's girlfriend. Okay, so we've got no successes here, or potentially we do another 3 damage. So I think, you know, this is where we spend Time of Need to get 2 successes and just do another 7 damage hit. I mean, we're just making a start, right? We're chipping away at what is, but the thing is, we'd be doing 1 damage per attack if it wasn't for Emboldened. So that was clearly the right choice, but my concern is if we lose it, because we don't have any inspiration, if we lose it, we're in real trouble. Uh-oh! Oh no! Guys! Oh no! It's crashed! The game has crashed! The Balin's mighty attack was too much for it. Gah! Oh no. Alright. We'll be right back with Journeys in Middle-earth. Okay, so here we go. Shadow phase. End the action phase? Yes. Ooh, this is nerve-wracking. I don't like it. Choosing his targets carefully, Nalka strikes where he is least exposed. He's not choosing carefully, that's why we have a threat token on Balin, because Balin's the focus. Move Nalka 1 space towards the space with the fewest heroes, then he attacks each nearby hero. Why? What? I thought he was going to... I don't know. Okay, so well, it's a tie. So I guess he attacks the... I mean, nearby means in a space or adjacent space. So actually, does this mean that he would attack them both? So I don't really know. I guess it's a tie, so I guess I can choose, or else I'm just... I mean, I guess he just moves in here, because Balin's his focus, right? That just makes sense to me. So I'm going to do that. Then he attacks each nearby hero, which presumably means if Gandalf were in an adjacent space, he'd also hit Gandalf. But He's not, so he won't. Yeah, can fewest be none? Can he... Does he just stay in the same space or move to the middle? Your foe has used centuries of hunger to hone his rage. Wit negates this attack. Well, that's dreadful. Oh, I'm going to take 5 damage. After this attack, each hero who suffered fear flips 1 wound face up. Great. So, I've got literally no... I've got literally... Well, I'm going to lose Emboldened, but that's fine. Oh, and did it say I had to remove this terrain piece? Yeah, the terrain is gone. Okay, so we can't actually use that to become Emboldened again. That's a shame. Alright, I wonder what we could do with the logs. I don't know if I checked the logs. What? Well, that's... I was like, I'm literally looking for my successes in my discard because I was so surprised to see 2 successes there. Well, okay, cool. So we've got 2 successes. So we've also got 2 cards with guard now. I think we want to prepare glory. So we're going to take 3 damage. We want to block fear, so I think we take 1 fear and 2 wounds. Yeah. So let us yeah, and then we can equip Ironhide as well, because equip, we can trigger Ironhide. Once per round when you would suffer any amount of wounds, you may prevent 2 and prepare a skill with guard from the discard pile. So we trigger Ironhide to prevent the 2 wounds, so we're actually just going to take 1 fear. And we can prepare a skill with guard. So I think we probably want to do... I mean, Treasures Untold would be great, but it's only going to be effective in this space. So we can either prepare... I think we would either prepare Glory, which when we suffer a wound or fear, we gain an inspiration in Scout 1. So preparing that now would be great. We can also use Loyal Friend. Before your attack, you may discard this skill to test Spirit instead and gain 1 inspiration, which is useful because we have 4 Spirit, so we could potentially get all things, but I think Glory's more clutch right now, particularly because it's going to give us an inspiration, and then we can discard Intrepid. So let's prepare Glory, and we're going to suffer the fear. So we triggered Ironhide because we suffer wounds first, because the wounds are on the left. So it reminds you of that. So here's our fear. Hopefully this isn't too bad. We can always get rid of it with the Butterbur Biscuits if we have to. Overcome. Suffer 1 face down fear, and then flip this card face down. Okay. Well, there's nothing I can do about that, is there? Nope. Alright, so I'm going to take 2 fear, which kind of sucks, but I can have 5 fear, so it's still not great. And now what we can do is we can trigger Glory, because we suffered fear, and gain an inspiration, and we can scout 1 as well. So that's really useful. So let's go over here and gain an inspiration. Scout a card off the top of the deck. Hopefully going to be something good. Treasure Seeker. At the start of your turn, you may remove this skill from the adventure to place your hero in a space with a search token and interact with it without provoking attacks. I'll tell you what, I'm going to prepare it just to get it out of my deck, because I don't think it's very useful. There are no search tokens, which is a bummer. If I could use that to like get over here, but that's a threat token, of course. But if I could use it to move out of that space I'm in, that would have been great. But I gained an inspiration, so I can discard Intrepid, which gets me another inspiration, and also lets me scout 1 again. So at least we're getting some inspiration set up here. And, of course, our weakness. So we might as well prepare that too, just to get it out of our deck. And then we can, the next time we have an opportunity to prepare a card, discard it into the discard pile. So at least it's out of our deck for a little while. Alright. So after this attack, yep. Oh, wait, what did it say? After this attack, each hero who suffered a fear flips a wound face up. That's fine, because I didn't suffer any wounds to flip up. Nalka never stops, using the shadows to draw close to your party, ready to eliminate the largest threat. Is there a hero with a threat token on their hero sheet? Yes. Nalka charges you, intending on ending your interference. Place Nalka in the space with his focus. Then Nalka's focus suffers 2 wounds and 2 fear, which might negates. Okay, great. I also have to get rid of Emboldened. I've clearly lost that, unfortunately, because I took damage. Wow, so Nalka's doing like 2 attacks as well. Alright, so Might, we've got 3. 1, 2, 3. Might here. Didn't you discard your threat token to attack her? I did, Yogi Bear, but then it told me to reassign it. I think. Yogi Bear says, I don't know this game, so I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure when I clicked on the rubble, and I said discard threat token, it then said someone needs to be Nalka's focus, so reassign the token. I may be misremembering. In any case, we shall see. Yeah, this is the first time the game's indicated that someone might not have a focus token, or a threat token that is acting as Nalka's focus. Eddie says it did. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe at some point I can get rid of it somehow. I guess we'll see. Alright, so we've got 3 cards here to negate. Alright, I see 1 success and 2 inspirations, so... Oh. One day, camera, you will focus like you're supposed to. Okay. So, in any case, I don't really want to take a whole ton more damage, but I probably could suffer a wound. So I'll give up both of these that I've just got to gain 3 successes, which means I'm going to suffer 1 damage. Which is fine, because this also means that I can trigger my Balin ability to prepare another card. So we've got Weariness. It's nothing. Much of anything. But because we've suffered a wound, an actual wound, we can gain an inspiration and scout 1 using Glory. Hooray! What have we got here? Oh no! Come back! We got Shadow Sight. When you test, if you're in darkness, you can do this thing. Or Sprint 1. That's fine. We're going to put that back on top. I mean, it's not going to matter, but I don't want to prepare it, so... Once per round, when you suffer a wound, after resolving all wounds from a single source, you may prepare a skill from your discard pile. So we can go back through here and prepare a skill as well. So I'm tempted to prepare Loyal Friend because it lets us do the big attack, where we can test Spirit and gain an inspiration to do that. I'm also extremely tempted to prepare Time of Need and Misty Mountains Cold. Unlike Ironhide, which lets us prepare a card with Guard from the discard pile, this is any card from the discard pile. And we have a lot of cards in our discard pile. I mean, preparing Kinship is also good, or even Undying Might, to help us just get an extra success. We are absolutely spoilt for choice. That's the term I'm looking for here. So this Misty Mountains Cold could be useful, because it lets us scout less to gain an inspiration, but I am concerned that there's basically going to be 3 rounds in this game, and I've already used 1. So I don't know, that's only 2 opportunities to make use of this. So I don't know, that's okay. But Time of Need is probably better, because it just lets us, it's basically an inspiration token, but better, right? Loyal Friend also gives us an inspiration token, and it makes our attack potentially more effective, but it's a success that's coming out of our deck, and we've already taken 1 out with Glory, which is already, I think, proven itself to be particularly useful. Glory also has Strike 2 on it, which is going to help us get that extra damage that we need to push through a major attack on Nalka. Kinship is good to prepare only because it could help buff Gandalf's attack, and also it's useless in the deck. So, once again, we're just taking out useless cards, really. Or the least useful cards. Undying Might, I'm tempted by... I think Time of Need is our best choice here, just because we've only got 1 inspiration. This could be very clutch, and this one's got a success on it. And the thing is, I think the difference between 3 and 4 cards with Balin's attack is not all that much, because he'd still need 4 successes to do 2 extra hits. Whereas with 2 successes, he does 5, so I think chances are we're always going to be doing 5 anyway. So I think Time of Need will just help us make sure that we get that resolved. So there we go. Alright. Your successful alliance with the Woodland Realms braces your spirits and renews your dedication to your task at hand. The trust and friendship you have nurtured is a fiery beacon among the shadows. Each hero gains 2 inspiration. Awesome. That's great. I mean, Gandalf's actually, like, basically maxed out now because of Splendorwell. He can have 1 more. But Balin desperately needs that. Alright, cool. Now there isn't even an enemy close to me when I use the Legendarium. Oh, wait, but I don't even need an inspiration anyway. Alright, cool. So. Rally phase? Oh, no. Triggered event. I have seen ages pass and mountains fall. You are nothing to me but a pest to be eliminated. Each hero tests spirit. If you fail, shuffle a weakness into your deck. Don't like that. Alright, here we go. We're testing spirit with Balin. We've only got 3 cards left in the deck. Like, I put that success back on top. I really almost didn't. I say almost didn't. I mean, I really didn't think it would matter. I was very cavalier about it, is what I'm saying. Fortunately, spirit is my good stat for both of these characters. So, in the end, spirit conquers all. You heard it here first, folks. Alright, there we go. 4 cards. We're canceling out. We need 2. It's pass or fail. We need 2 successes. Well, there's the one we put down. So I think we spend 1 inspiration to make that up to 2. Because otherwise that would suck. And Gandalf. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards as well for spirit. Blam! So we got 1 there as well. So I think we also spend an inspiration with Gandalf to make that up. Alright, cool. Okay, each hero resets their deck and scouts too. So I think I will use the well, we'll do Balin first. But I think I will actually use the Legendarium of Thor here with Gandalf, because it lets me prepare an extra card. And I'm just thinking I'd like to start hunting for those cards that Gandalf's got that give him a huge amount of strike, so he can just get that big hit in. I think Gandalf managed to do like 14 damage in 1 hit in the last game, and I know that Nalka's already on like 14 hit points, so there's potential here that Gandalf could just line up a massive attack and potentially even kill Nalka, or bring him to the point where Balin can maybe kill him. I just, you know, because he's an elite enemy and he does a ton of damage, I can't really be spending time with little attacks unless they're ranged, and Gandalf doesn't have any range, so that's Gandalf's main issue here. We can reset Ironhide as well, and I don't know if it's worth using the Butterbur biscuits yet. Actually, do you know what? I don't see any reason not to, so we'll consume one of these to get rid of both of our fear cards. It just feels like there's no reason not to. Like, I've only got 3 charges, and there's only 2 more rounds in the game, so what am I saving them for, you know? Alright. Here we go. Let's see. Scout 2. Show me something good for Balin. Alright, we've got Kinship and Intrepid. Okay. Kinship could help Gandalf. You know, he'd draw 2 extra cards if he was doing an attack. That would be good. Intrepid, after you gain inspiration, you may discard this skill to gain an additional inspiration in Scout 1. Intrepid is good too. I just don't know how I'm going to be gaining any inspiration in the immediate future. But Kinship's just going to sit there. Alright, let's do this. Let's prepare Intrepid. We'll discard Truth Seeker, because at least it's got a useful thing on it. but it's in the discard pile now, which is fine by me. And we'll put Kinship on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like Gandalf's not going to come back over to us yet. And we're not next to him, so we can't benefit him with it. Alright, and then Gandalf will use the Legendarium of Thror to scout 4 cards, and he can prepare 2 of them. So hopefully what we'll find here is, what we really want is the 16 cost card that gives him like Strike 3 and adds a bunch of modifiers. Although the only modifier that's of any use to us at the moment is Smite, because Nalka's immune to like everything else. Don't forget about Gandalf's Nosy. That's true, actually. And I could probably use it on Balin. We shall see, because Gandalf's... I mean, he's short 1 inspiration, but I have a feeling like Balin's going to need all the help he can get if he's going to be attacking Nalka in Nalka's space. Which is an issue for poor Balin. The spider is not very nice. Alright, here we go. Show me 4 great cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, Uncanny... Well, I don't know if there's really time to make good use of Uncanny. Okay, so we've got Hidden Plans. During your turn, you may discard this skill to scout 4 and prepare up to 3 additional cards. Well, that's great. Quick Temper. That's the one we wanted. Before you strike with this card, add 2 modifiers of your choice and strike 3. So we definitely prepare Quick Temper. So you can prepare 1 more. So I think we prepare Elf Friend, which lets us get 2 inspiration onto our... So Elf Friend's useful. Dazzling Flash is also great, and Hidden Plan... See, I'd really like to prepare Hidden Plans, because I could essentially use it again to kind of repeat what I'm doing currently. But I've got 1 more charge on the Legendarium here, so... And it's taking a success out of my deck. Dazzling Flash, also great choice, because it adds Smite... But because I've got Quick Temper, I'm kind of thinking Elf Friend is less good in the deck. So I think we take and prepare Elf Friend. And then we can put Dazzling Flash on top, and then Hidden Plans underneath. So they both go on top. But, yeah. We'll put the one with the... Wow, we'll put the one with the inspiration symbols on the very top in case we want to use Nosy. Hey, Base Monkey! Hello from London! So, I'm still tempted to use Gandalf on Balin to check Balin's deck over here so Balin can have an inspiration. But I think we start the round, before Gandalf does anything like that, by checking this search token here. Because this is the big unknown for us, and we're going to try and resolve this round. What happens if I click on the pit? Right, it just tells me what pits do. I already did that check though, so we're fine. Okay, so here we go. The ground shifts. Yeah, let's search the pit. So we're going to test Wit again here, and we've got our Clever Wit just in case we fail horribly. Although I think actually, yeah, I know exactly what we're gonna draw because I just put them down. Moron. Okay. So, there we go. The 2 cards. We knew they were there. So we've got 1 success and 2 inspiration symbols. So I think let's give up Clever Wit then to add a 2nd success, which I think we know will be enough because 2 was sufficient last time. At least, fingers crossed it is. You nimbly clear some earth, revealing a small spider burrowing closer to your party. Once you expose it, it flees into the trees, just like last time. We're going to get another... Nope, that was it. So, I guess... Have we bought ourselves another round? We've got 11 left. No, we haven't even bought ourselves enough time for another round. So I don't really know what the benefits of that was, but I don't know if maybe leaving them would have triggered something worse later. In any case, Gandalf's only got 1 space of movement because he injured himself, which is deeply unfortunate, and I don't know how we're going to get rid of that necessarily. So, I think we have really no choice but to move back towards Nalka. What I'm kind of tempted to do is put Gandalf in here, And then we can maybe give Nalka the threat focus token, and he can use the rubble to become emboldened and just do a big attack with quick temper and emboldened. And that might be really clutch. So let's have a quick double check of what the stats here are. So this is the same thing. You can perform an attack and become emboldened. And this one is, you may discard the threat token to guard 2. Right, and I don't actually have to click discard the threat token here, because you may interact with the log to stand on it, which is different. That's part of the log's standard effect, which is where you take an agility test, and then if you pass, you become determined and gain an inspiration. So I think that actually this would be a way to get rid of the focus token, right? Because if you spend it here to guard 2, then you wouldn't have it later when Nalka attacked again, potentially. So there you go. That's how I think how that must work. So Gandalf moves in there. That's the end of Gandalf's turn. I don't think we have to make another check for the pit. No, it's only when you move into the pit space, so that's fine. So I guess it's Balin now. So I guess we'll use Nosy to check Balin's deck. I don't know what it is, but hopefully it's a inspiration card. Fingers crossed. Well, at least it's a success. So I guess we're just going to whack Nalka. I think that that's our best opportunity here. We can spend the token, actually, because we've also got a log in this space we're in. We can spend our threat token to guard 2, which would get rid of it. So that's kind of a plus. I mean, my other option, actually, which I'm kind of tempted by, is to duck out of the space into here. And I'll have to take a provoke opportunity on Nalka, but then I can use the token here to become emboldened again, do an additional attack, do 2 attacks against Nalka, which I think I like that. I might do that. That's feel 2 more attacks. And then I guess we're just relying on Gandalf to kill it afterwards. If I can do another 6 damage to it, that'll take it down to 8. Gandalf might be able to do 1 big 8 hit next turn and kill it. Yeah, let's do that. So let's slip away and provoke it like this. So here we go. Hopefully this won't be too rough. Two clawed legs seek to pin you down for the sting to strike true. Might negates this attack. I do have Glory prepared on Balin as well, so hopefully I'll get an inspiration here too. So here we go. We're doing a might check. Oh, that's the wrong camera. Alright. Behold, as I dart... Oh, you can't see anything. I dart around. The spider's like, where'd he go? Yes, spider. Haha. Alright, 3, 1, 2, 3 for the might check. Dun, 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 dun. So I got 1 success and 2 inspiration symbols. And we're trying to dodge here 5 damage again, so... after this attack, each hero who suffered no damage will gain 1 inspiration. So I think actually it's probably worth giving up Time of Need to turn that into 3 successes. And then I could actually... well, I don't want to trigger Ironhide, though. I was thinking I could trigger Ironhide to block the rest of it. The thing is, I don't have a card in my discard pile to prepare Ironhide, and I could prepare Glory again. So I think I probably just take the 2 wounds. Yeah. Yeah. I guess we just take the 2 wounds then. Bummer. Okay. Yeah. 2 damage cards. So we don't get the bonus inspiration, so we can't trigger Intrepid, but that's okay because we're about to trigger Glory, and then we can trigger Intrepid off of that. So we've got Poison first, gain 1 weakness and shuffle it into your deck, then discard this card. That sucks. And we've got Weariness, which we just flip face down. Alright, so we discard that and gain a weakness. Where are the weakness cards? They're over here. The weakness is... Watched. Uh-oh. Something's got its eye on us. An eye wreathed in flame. Blah! Oh no. So... but after we suffer wounds, we can gain an inspiration in Scout 1. So we'll gain an inspiration using Glory. And now we can actually trigger Intrepid as well to gain another inspiration. Alright. First we Scout 1. Something useful? Or maybe the weakness we just drew. Honed Agility. Might as well prepare it. Don't see any reason not to. Even though we're probably not going to need it. So then we can give up Intrepid, because when we gain an inspiration, we can give up Intrepid to gain another one and Scout 1. So, blam. Gain 1 more inspiration. This is good. At least we've got plenty of inspiration, because we just gave up Time of Need, and we're scouting 1 more card, and it is Loyal Friend. Oh, that's got a success on it. Before you attack, you can discard this to test Spirit and gain an inspiration. No, like I said before, I think the success is actually better for this. Because of the attacks on Balin's Throat Seeker. So, we put that back, and then now that we're here, we end our movement action. We give up the threat token to trigger the effect of the rubble. So, on this space, we can give up the threat token to perform an additional attack and become emboldened. So we shall become emboldened once more. Which is, of course, only going to last moments before Nalka comes into this space and literally whacks everybody. Which sucks. But there we go. 2 extra hits until we take any damage. So that's good. And we get to do an attack now. Or 2 attacks. We'll just do 2 attacks in a row, I think. And then that's going to be the end of Balin's turn. So attack number 1. We're attacking with Might. Here we go. So we got 2 successes and a blank, which is absolutely fine. So the 2 successes result in 5 hits. It becomes 7 with Emboldened. And now I have to decide whether or not to give up Glory to add 2 additional hits. I mean, I don't think... Oh, actually, I should also hit Discard Threat. Discard this token, then choose a hero to become the threat token. Okay, so I think we still keep this with Balin. For now. He's only got 2 damage on him. Out of everything that he's taken. Although, I guess I could have put it on Gandalf, and then I might have been able to keep Emboldened on Balin. Oh well, too late for that now. So... Yep, so now I'm just trying to decide whether to discard Glory to turn this 7 damage hit into a... or 7 strike hit into a 9 strike hit. I'm gonna do it, because I'm gonna use Ironhide to get Glory back anyway, because it's got guard on it, I think. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Blam! Take that! Take that! No! Haha! You should have brought a ranged weapon, you spider fool. Alright, cool. So, I guess we just go again. Rinse and repeat. Hopefully we'll get 2 more successes, but I don't know. Blam! Well, we got 1 success. Raven Companion and Ancient Wisdom, so we can give up 1 inspiration token to turn that into 2 successes. Add 2 more from Emboldened, and that's another 7 damage. Nice. God, that cry. I mean, we're not doing too bad, guys. Got him down to 6. No. Ha! Because I don't allow it. That's also gone now. Alright. That rubble is out of here. Alright, cool. So that's the end of our turn, though. So I guess we're back into the shadow phase. Yep. Choosing his targets carefully, Nalka strikes where he is least exposed. Move 1 space towards the space with the fewest heroes, then attack each nearby enemy. Do you suppose that is supposed to be a space with 0 people in it, then? Because I think that there's a sort of a... I think there's sort of an AI issue here, because I assumed fewest heroes meant minimum of 1, right? Because if he attacks nearby heroes, theoretically, most spaces, like there's only 1 space on the board at the moment where you couldn't hit nearby heroes, which is here, right? Because nearby heroes includes adjacent spaces. Because here and here, you know, obviously. But the thing is, like, so the space with the fewest spaces, with the fewest heroes, is then any of these 4, right? So if he moves to the space with the fewest heroes, I don't know how to prioritize which one of these 4 spaces he chooses. So I don't know why I wouldn't just choose this space where he would go and have no targets. Like, that would be the obvious choice, right? Why wouldn't I choose that space? Because I'm pretty sure when there's a choice between 2 equal targets, the player picks. So I don't really understand how to parse this this instruction, actually, which is kind of annoying. But it's a bit unclear. I assume that fewest heroes is fewest to a minimum of 1. Because I think the game only goes up to 4 players, which means that, or does it go up to 5? Anyway, my point is, you could, well, I suppose you could have all heroes in the same space, though. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to logic out something that doesn't quite make sense. I don't suppose anyone's done this who has a take on it. But I would have thought it would be fewest of 1, so he'd at least be trying to attack sort of like 1 hero, but not put himself in a space where he's being ganged up on by a whole bunch of heroes, right? Yogi Bear says he imagines they wrote it assuming there would be 4 heroes. Yeah, so then if there were 4 heroes, you could make it so that there's only 1 space with no heroes in it. But again, I don't really know what the advantage of that is. I mean, I guess it suits me better. I mean, it's kind of... The thing is as well, like, I don't... There's no assumption that him being in my space is better or worse. Because I would prefer him to move into Gandalf's space, so that Gandalf can attack him without having to move, especially seeing as Gandalf has Entangled, which sucks. However, I would prefer him not to be in Balin's space, because Balin's got ranged attacks. So it's not like him being in my space is better or worse for me. In this case, it's much over much. I mean, the worst possible space for him to go is here, right? But there's no reason for him to prioritize this space over that one. Yeah, so like if I had a 4-player game and we had a space with 2 heroes and 2 spaces with 1 hero, presumably he would then choose one of the spaces with 1 hero. Oh god, this is so boring, guys. I think he just moves in here. I'm just going to say he moves in there. I don't know how to parse it, and it's kind of much over much. If he could move here, then he could also move here, because there's nothing to say he tries to be adjacent to heroes or nearby heroes, in which case I would just put him in here, because that would suit me down to the ground. Then he wouldn't hit anyone, and Balin can just go here and throw axes at him. So I think this is a reasonable compromise, although I think the game's intent here is a bit unclear. Unless there's some rules text I'm missing. Anyway. Yep. So this attack hits both of them. So I'm going to do this once for Balin and then once for Gandalf. The ancient spider seems to whisper your deepest fears in your ear, even when he is far from the reach of your blade. So we're doing a 5 damage here, which spirit negates. Woof. Okay, so we've got 4 spirit at least, so we've got 4 cards here that I've drawn. Blam! Alright, so there's our new misery card. So we got 1 success. But that's okay, because I actually have a whole plan for this. Okay, rather than spend my super valuable... right, I'm supposed to have a threat token on Balin, aren't I? Ooh. So rather than spend my super valuable inspiration, I'm going to spend the threat token to add guard 2 using the log, right? And then which I'm allowed to do, right? I mean, it doesn't say I can click on the log right now. It says, but I could only, the only purpose of using guard would be during Nalka's attack, so I must be able to do this during Nalka's attack. So I can give up the threat token to guard 2, so I'm going to do that. So that gives me essentially 3 cancellations. And then I'm going to trigger Ironhide to guard against the final 2 wounds. So I can try to cancel the 3 fear. Then I use Ironhide, come on, camera, to guard, to prevent 2 damage and prepare a card with guard from my discard. So we'll prepare Glory back again. And that also means that we don't actually take any damage, so we get to keep emboldened, at least for now. Meanwhile, over on Gandalf's side of the table, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Show me a big old cancellation. Gandalf's probably going to take some damage here, but I'm not... Okay, so we've got 0 successes, but 3 inspiration symbols. So I guess we just spend 3 inspiration to cancel out as much as possible. So we're taking 2 damage. After this attack, each hero discards an inspiration. God damn it. So I'll get rid of 1 from Balin here. And then I guess Gandalf will lose his last inspiration as well because of that. Fortunately, I have Elf Friend here. So... Oof. Yeah, so I guess we'll take 1 of each, I guess. I'm kind of tempted to just take damage because... oh, I can spend an inspiration to stop another damage with Splendorwell, so of course I'll do that. So I guess we'll just take 1 damage then. I can prevent a damage or a fear with Splendorwell. And we're going to lose that token anyway, so we might as well just spend them all, actually. So that's 4 inspiration we spent to stop 4 damage. We've got 1 damage coming in, and it's just weariness. So we can flip that face down. Alright, cool. So now, hopefully, that'll be the end of Nalka's bull crap, because Nalka doesn't have... There's no threat token. So Nalka never stops using the shadows to draw close to your party, ready to eliminate the largest threat. Is there a hero with a threat token? No, because I spent it to guard. Nalka refocuses, readying himself for the fight ahead. Choose a hero to place a threat token on. Alright, so I think I give it to Gandalf this time, just because... No, I think I give it to Balin, because Balin could use it again, because the log doesn't go like the rubble does. So I think I can use the token again to guard 2 and potentially keep emboldened. So we'll still keep it on Balin. Balin also hasn't used his once per round ability, so if damage does get through, we'll trigger Glory and this. So I think that's probably the best choice. So, yeah. Now let's find out what the threat is. Yep. When the elves drove the spiders from their home, they did not know I would taste their blood and thirst for more. Now I have come to settle the score. Each hero suffers 2 fear, which might negates. If you're an elf, you flip 1 fewer card. Well, I'm not an elf. I'm going to have to reset Balin's deck here, though. No one is elves. I didn't bring any elves, but it would have been useful to have some elves. I mean, I could just discard the threat token to guard 2 here, so I'm not too worried about this. Although we might as well draw the Yeah, I think Balin might be able to kill... With Glory and Emboldened, Balin might be able to one-shot this spider if he doesn't die. And I don't think he is going to die, so... I'm feeling reasonably confident here. So... I mean, Gandalf's preparing this big attack, but it might not even be necessary. So this is Might we're doing here, so that's 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. So we've got Ancient Wisdom, Treasures Untold, and Treasure Seeker. So that's 1 success and 2 inspirations. So I guess we just spend 1 inspiration token? Or I don't know why I wouldn't just spend this, though. Anyway. Is this once per round or something? I wish I could check the log text. On the off chance it might be once per round, we'll spend an inspiration. And discard those cards. Alright, and then Gandalf, unfortunately, only has 2 might. So 2 cards for Gandalf. This is probably not going to go well. Oh, damn it. Oh, it's might negates. Okay, fine. So I've negated 1. We're going to take 1 fear. Which is okay, unless it's really not. Sometimes it's really not okay, so... It's just gloom. That's fine. Face down. Alright, cool. I am the ever-ravenous Nalka! Oh. I am the ever-ravenous Nalka, named for my unending hunger and rage. You have been foolish to challenge me. I can tell that your strength is failing. Soon you must fall! Each hero nearby Nalka suffers 2 wounds, which wisdom negates. Good God. Lucky I kept that threat token. Here we go. So, Balin first. Never ending. Okay, so we got 1 success there. So, I'm thinking... Rather than spend my final inspiration... I mean, I didn't use the threat token... because I wasn't sure about the log, the rules in the log. So here's what I'll do. I'll spend it now, and then we'll check the rules once we get back to the rally phase. And if it says once per turn, I'll give up the inspiration and take the token back. But that's guard too, so we negate all the damage. I just want to keep emboldened. Oh, it was wisdom. Gandalf needs to do a check as well. So 4 wisdom for Gandalf. Blam. But no successes at all. There's nothing I can do about this, so we're going to take 2 damage. Unfortunately, I can't use Elf Friend because it says on your turn, and it hasn't been Gandalf's turn. Alright, but they're both weariness, so we're all good. I know I should do those one at a time. It's just shorthanding it a little bit because I'm excited. Right, so now we're back to the rally phase. So, I mean, I might as well give up another Butterbur Biscuits to heal both of these. Oh, ooh. The start for a hero in your space to become determined. I forgot to become determined. Okay, so Gandalf can become determined. Actually, we'll get rid of Gandalf's stuff because we can get rid of Entangled and also this Fear card because Fear sucks. I hate it. So... Cool, and Gandalf can now be determined, even though I should have had that determined on Balin, actually. But it's fine. There we go. Okay. Now we scout 2. Oh, you guys couldn't see any of that, but there we go. We're determined and we gave up some stuff. So, scout 2. Reset the deck and scout 2. Nalka's wavering. Yeah. Jason, thanks for that, man. I appreciate that. Unless that was sarcasm, I don't know. But Do you know, I was thinking about this game, actually. I had this thought the other day, because I was thinking there was something about Journeys in Middle-earth that wasn't quite sitting right with me. And do you know what it was? I thought that they missed a real opportunity to, like, weave the characters you're playing into the story more. It's like, because they didn't want... Because you can pick any 2 characters or any 4 characters or whatever. Like, none of the NPCs in the game have any character-specific text. Or at least none that I've come across. I think occasionally they'll have race-specific text. So if you're like an elf or a dwarf, they might say something different. Or it'll say, like, click here if you're a dwarf. I think I've seen that, but I've never seen, like, click here if you're Gandalf, or click here if you're Aragorn, you know? And I thought it would have been really nice to have some more, like, character-specific options, just to really make you feel a bit more involved, and, like, the characters you chose were, like, more than just sort of functions for different mechanisms, but actual, like, characters existing in the world. Like, I think it's because on this one, the Shadowed Paths, it's felt a bit weird to have Gandalf trucking along and, like, nobody's like, oh my god, it's Gandalf, one of the Astari, one of the ancient wizards, you know? Like, I thought that would be quite an appropriate reaction. Or, like, some people to be like, oh, Gandalf's back, that meddling old so-and-so thinks that just because he's an Astari, he can get his own way. Like, I thought that'd be really cool, and, I mean, it would be more work, but it wouldn't require any actual major changes to the game or the gameplay. It would just require more writing on the app side. I think I've come back to this more and more, like, I feel like the app offers so many great opportunities that are really just not utilized at all. Alright, what do we got? We got Loyal Friend and Intrepid. Well, I think we take Loyal Friend and put it back on top and prepare Intrepid, because it's useless otherwise. And then we've got a success there. Okay. And then Gandalf's deck. Which one is... Uze says, which one is better, Bloodborne or this game? I was about to say I think they're very different, but I'm not sure if they are very different. I mean, I suppose it's nuanced, right? Like, at a high level, they're very, very similar, because they're card-driven fantasy adventure board games with short campaign functions. This one, the campaign is like twice as long as the Bloodborne campaign, but then when you get down to the nuanced differences, like the fantasy setting the fantasy settings are very distinct. The card play feels very, very different. This has an app, of course, so it feels a lot more story-driven, whereas Bloodborne has cards, and the cards don't have all that much flavor text on. There's also not very many, like, decision cards in Bloodborne. Like, it's mostly do or do not the thing, you know? There's not, like, sort of a... I mean, there were a few decision cards, I guess. Like, if you choose this, go to that card in Bloodborne. But this feels a lot more story-driven. Although, I think it's just the presence of more story rather than actual more story choices, necessarily. Alright, so I think we prepare Fast Talking, because it's got Strike 2 on it. We'll put Unyielding Spirit back on top, so we can check that for some... So, maybe Gandalf just goes first and does a huge hit and kills the spider. I should have used the Legendarium of Thror. It's fine, I don't need it. Yeah, let's have Gandalf go first, because I think he can one-shot the spider. Balin can probably also do it, but I've decided to do Gandalf, because I don't know. Because he's got Determined as well. Actually, what he doesn't have is a whole lot of Inspiration. Let's check the stats. Oh, I also need to check that log. So, oh, there's no more threat here. So we actually do have 2 more turns. But I think things are going to continue to escalate. So So Gandalf needs to do 8 hits to kill Nalka, because Gandalf can get Smite. Whereas Balin can also get Smite because of Undersun. So Balin also needs 8 hits. Let's have a quick look at the text on log. While in this space, Nalka's focus can discard the threat token on their hero sheet to guard 2. Yeah, it doesn't say once per round or anything, so yeah, that feels legitimate. So I'll just get rid of that token. Alright, so let's have a quick look here. Prepare. So we know that we can get pretty much 5 hits as standard. I mean, yeah, I think no matter who we pick here, we've pretty much got this sewn up. So, I guess, chat, who do you want to kill Nalka, Gandalf or Balin? And Eddie, thank you for reminding me about Gandalf's nosy. I appreciate that. The fact that my chat are constantly reminding me about this shows clearly what my track record is like. But Uze, so I think actually, in terms of which one is better, I don't think in terms of mechanisms and systems, I don't think one is superior to the other. I think they both offer fairly interesting systems. I think that Bloodborne feels a bit more system driven. There's a lot of like sort of Bloodborne feels a bit more desperate. It feels less this feels less sort of tight, you know, in terms of the mechanisms. Like this feels a bit more sort of like it's got a bit more luck going on in it, because I mean in Bloodborne you have the 12 skill cards, so in that sense that you're drawing a hand of cards every turn and playing them out, but there's only 12 cards. There's more cards in this, and also the card's effectiveness can be modified by the presence or lack thereof of inspiration tokens, which doesn't occur in Bloodborne. So in Bloodborne, I feel like the decision making feels more, not more important necessarily, but just like higher stakes. The decision making feels higher stakes, whereas in this it feels like if you make a mistake, there's more opportunity to recover. I mean, both games are ultimately based around a timing mechanic as well. Actually, the more I talk about it, the more the similarities make themselves apparent. It's kind of interesting, actually, because obviously in Bloodborne it's the advancing of the Blood Moon token and the resetting of the enemies. Here it's the threat meter. This has obviously got a lot more story. There's a lot more text in it because they can, because of the app. I think this can be more frustrating than Bloodborne, in terms of things feeling like sort of a bit like the app playing gotcha. I can sometimes feel like things are a bit too hard or a bit too difficult. Everyone voted Gandalf. Cool. So Gandalf will now kill the spider. But ultimately, I think you couldn't go. I think if you've watched the gameplay and you're interested in both, I think they're both fine games. I've got very complex thoughts on Journeys in Middle-earth, and I do intend to do a full review one day, but not right here live on stream. But my point is that I think it's personal choice. Like, do you prefer the world of Bloodborne, the giant crazy weapons, and the gothic horror sort of element to it? Is that a world you want to play in, or do you prefer the sort of I'm going to say the generic fantasy of Lord of the Rings, even though Lord of the Rings invented it, and everything else is kind of derivative. This doesn't feel exceptionally Lord of the Ringsy. It feels more just kind of like a fantasy world. And I think I've spoken about that before, certainly in the first impressions I did with Chris way back when we played the base game. And I think that's one of the things I would have, because the characters are such an important part of Lord of the Rings as well. And I think that's when I was talking moments ago about how the characters feel a bit divorced from what's going on around them, because the NPCs in the world don't really react to who the characters are. Like, it would have been nice if Nalka knew Gandalf, because they're both, been in existence since the beginning of time, right? Or like in Astari, Nalka would surely know what an Astari is. If he had some line of dialogue about that, it would have just sort of felt more, involving, like bringing you into it. Do you know what I mean? Alright, come on, let's go, Gandalf. So, the first thing Gandalf will do, I think, is, what did I put on top of the deck? Let's use Nosy to check the top of my deck. Yeah, so there we go. 1 inspiration for Gandalf. Actually, I didn't use the Legendarium of Thror. Damn it, I should have. Oh well. We'll remove Elf-Friend from the game to gain 2 more inspiration. And now we will attack with Wisdom. 4 cards. So let's see what Gandalf's got going on here. Alright, so 0 successes. and a weakness as well. So I think let's use Determined to re-roll. I guess we can keep Dazzling Flash because it's got 2 on it, but I'd be kind of tempted to just re-roll all of these, to be honest. Yeah, screw it. Let's re-roll. No, I've got 3 tokens, so let's keep Dazzling Flash just in case I somehow get something so much worse. All right, get out of here, Determined. Yep. All right. Blam. So 1 success, another double, and greater power, which is nothing. So we've got 1 success and 4 opportunities to improve our hand here. So I think, let's see now. We need, what did I say? We need 8 hits. So we're going to use Quick Temper here to add Smite and Cleave. There's no point in adding Cleave. I just can because I get to add 2 modifiers with this card. And 3 hits. So, there we go. We can use Fast Talking to add 2 more hits. So, now we've got 1 success to spend, but we could spend up to 3 focus for 3 more successes. So, we can trigger the 1 success on Constant Companion to add 3 hits, which appears to kill the spider. So, I guess that's it. Like, there's no point in spending Inspiration just in case there's a phase 2 or some shit, you know? Yeah, so is it maybe better to keep Fast Talking? No, there's no point. Right, get out of here, cards. Alright, let's see what happens. I'm excited. I'm excited. What's gonna happen? More immersive, that's what I was looking for, Eddie. You're right. If Nalka reacted to heroes, it would feel more immersive. So 1 inspiration for Gandalf, or actually let's give it to Balin. I don't know what's going to happen now. Your might is undeniable, and you are ready to strike the final blow to Nalka's black heart. You raise your hands to deliver the strike when the wounded demon surges backward, dripping blood. Nalka curses you in a clicking, hissing language you have not yet heard him use. The vehemence of the sound chills your blood. Answering Nalka's call, the trees around the clearing erupt in rustling movement. Dozens of spiders fleeing the area. Disgusting little creatures! No, wait. Hang on, what was it? Disgusting little creatures! Nalka is not so easily finished. The elves will not hide behind you for long, and I will return to feast on your blood! The heroes win! Fuck! This is not over! That voice is actually not that easy to do. Each hero receives 4 experience and lore increases by 2. I have nothing more... Oh, okay. All you have done to fight Nalka and his legion of enemies has led you to this pivotal moment. Your enemy is fierce, cruel, and clever, but you have staunch allies at your side and the conviction that evil must not prevail. You will face Nalka on the battlefield. Whether you have the tools needed to defeat him forever is yet to be seen. In the Spider's Lair, Chapter 11. You prepare as best you can to face Nalka and his legion of beasts. Ian is with you when you set out to face the foe at dawn. Over time, I have come to respect your strength and determination, and you have my thanks for facing this evil. The elves will march this day, led by your example. I think, perhaps, you may find light in the darkness to aid you when you need it most. That's a line from the book and the movie! The elder elves speak of a sun flame that was lost when the greenwood turned to shadow. Oh, this is still him. The elder elves speak of a sun flame that we lost when the greenwood turned to shadow, and I have a feeling that it will not stay lost in this time of need. You carry those warm words with you as you march into the dark tangle of Nalka's lair. Ian's belief that you will find light in the darkness gives you the confidence you need to face the battle ahead. The next adventure will be the journey map. Warning! This is the finale. Win or lose, the campaign will end. Well, I guess that's the warning I should have been looking for this entire time. Alright. Confirm. Oh, can I buy some more good cards, though? God, I really should have unlocked some additional decks with these characters. Um, it does say during, like, I don't... The second weakness in Balin's deck, that goes away, right? Because I'm pretty sure it says between adventures that you take out... During the setup, you take out all the weaknesses and then you put one in. I'm just going to double check that real quick, because if he has to live with that second weakness card, that will suck. First campaign setup. No. That's not what we're doing. So... Hackers is like, it's still lying. This game is not going to end. This is definitely not the final one. Actually, do you know, I do seem to remember Jonathan telling me that there was like 11 chapters or something at one point, so... Jonathan, I probably should have remembered that. And I totally forgot. Wow, is there not a... Is it in the rules reference then? Too many rulebooks, too little time. So we've got... After each adventure... Yeah, return the weakness cards to the supply. Yeah. I mean, I haven't been doing that because it feels a bit silly to, like, take out all the weakness cards and then put one back in. Of course, the reason you do that, I suppose, is because... I mean, the weakness cards themselves, they're all different, but the difference is not mechanical. It's just... There's no mechanism. It's just different art. You know? And nothing I've come across in the game has ever referenced the weakness cards. So it's not like if you've got watched or off course, do a thing. So I've just been living with the same weakness cards in their deck the whole time. But the good news is I can get rid of watched, which is good, because that would suck if I had to put up with it the whole time. Back into the deck with you. Get out of here. Meanwhile, the elves hang back and drink wine as you go to defeat the big bad. Well, yeah. So can I? No, I need 3 more points on Gandalf to get strong opinion. Damn it. Oh, well, we could get flattery or contemplation. I think flattery's quite good, isn't it? For Gandalf. So we didn't get any new items, did we? I think all the items are max level. I think there's only 3 levels, and they're all level 3, so we're not going to level up those any further anyway. So we can get flattery or contemplation. Yes, I always like to buy flattery, because even though the card itself is not all that... I mean, the card itself is fine. At the start of the rally phase, you can discard it for you and a nearby hero to prepare up to 1 skill with inspiration from the discard pile. Fine. But it's got a success on it. And putting another success card in Gandalf's deck is always a bonus. So I think we'll just take that. Balin, meanwhile, continues to accrue points, and I don't know what to spend them on. Because he's got no additional cards, really, that I want to take. It's because I feel like I'm adding sort of cards into his deck that he can't really use. Or they're just going to sort of get in the way of the better cards. What do we got here? Well, it sounds like the next one's in a cave, so anything that helps me deal with darkness might be useful. I mean, this might be useful. Notice at the end of your turn, if you're in darkness, you may discard this skill to interact with a token in your space and sprint 1. So no stone unturned. I mean, Forging Ahead as well is not actually referencing darkness. It says at the start of your turn, if there are no nearby heroes getting inspiration, it's got sprint 2 on it. We know the next one's a journey map as well, so that's a big deal. This one also, Spirit of Adventure. After a tile is placed, you may discard the skill to either scout 2 or prepare a skill from the discard pile. That could be really useful. Interesting that the final fight's actually in a... The rest of these I think are not very useful, so maybe one of these two. I could actually afford both of them, I guess. I just don't know if I want to, because they're obviously both inspiration-based. Yeah, it's interesting that the final fight's going to be in a cave, but... so I guess, so I was gonna, I was thinking about doing, I was thinking about doing Ether Fields tomorrow actually, because I recognize it's been ages since we've done an Ether Fields. But now I think we're going to be doing probably the finale of this, because I'm really keen to get this finished so we can get some more other adventure games in. So I guess we'll have to do an Ether Fields as soon as we can, but probably won't be tomorrow now. But you know, I keep meaning to get back to Ether Fields. What do you guys think about Spirit of Adventure and No Oh, it's not Spirit of Adventure, actually. I've got here. It's Forging Ahead. What do you guys think about that? Yes or no to adding the two cards? Gandalf, though, he loses fast talking, which is fine, because he gains flattery, which is better. In my humble opinion. Actually, I can get rid of that, really. There we go. But yeah, so I think, yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, I feel like the last sort of two missions of this have just been like introducing the bad guy and then chasing him for a while. And it's not exactly a grand secret that the bad guy was a giant spider, child of Ungoliath or whatever. I feel like they probably could have done a better job with that. I liked when Chris and I were playing the original game. There was a sort of an orc that showed up, and then we failed to kill him, and they showed up again. So I think like sort of something like that would have been neat, rather than just kind of. I mean, I get that he's sort of hiding in the shadows, but it hasn't even really mentioned Nalka up till this point. I'm also intrigued by this alliance. You know, we understand that there are orcs and other races, ruffians, even humans, working with Nalka. So I hope that the game addresses that. I'll be a bit disappointed if it doesn't. So, I mean, it feels like there's quite a lot going on, but we haven't really addressed any of it in the last few adventures. The last few adventures have all kind of been quite similar, in the sense that it's sort of like kill the people and do the thing. Kill the people and do the thing. Wow. What I mean to say is that it feels a lot like it's been sort of just like fight a bunch of stuff, fight the spider champion. This felt like just a smaller version. I really don't know what the point of this one was. This has just felt like filler. Nothing's happened here that is... I mean, it was basically a miniature version of what we did last time, right? Fight the spider, use the surrounding terrain to your advantage, and that's it. Like, I don't know if they had to put it in because certain branches of... I don't know how branchy the campaign is, right? So there might be a branch that meanders off, and so you maybe skip certain parts or come back into certain areas, or maybe I had to do an extra fight with this spider because I failed earlier things, and so it's sort of like punishing me in that way. But it didn't really feel like any of it was connected, so I don't really know what I did that might have led to an additional fight. But this one certainly felt a lot like filler, and I mean, I quite enjoy the fundamental mechanisms of the game, so I didn't mind too much doing it. But also, you know, the thing is like the fighting and the puzzle, the sort of the testing of the game, it's all very, very similar. So yeah, I mean, you know, you're revealing cards and deciding whether to spend inspiration and triggering other cards for abilities, but it's not like there's an enormous amount of sort of diversity here. So a lot of the enjoyment comes from the progression of the story and discovering new things, and this certainly felt like it didn't really do any of that, you know. You know, it would have been nice if there were some stakes, you know, a bit like the one where we had to rescue the elves, and clearly the elves appearing in that, or the elves appearing later on, and the sort of little bits of text I've had where it's like, your friendship with the elves gives you inspiration. You know, clearly that's as a result of me succeeding in the elf patrol mission. I mean, maybe it's not actually, but I imagine that it is. Um, but it would have been nice if, like, maybe Nalka had shown up then and we could have just skipped this one. Or maybe, like, if the elves showed up here to help instead, and then if too many of them died or something happened to them, or maybe I had, like, Gandalf was running around over here dealing with these spider tunnels, and I don't know what would have happened if I ignored that other than additional threat generation hastening the end of the mission. But if maybe, like, there were some elves here that were sort of helping me to defeat Nalka, but then there were some spiders that were sort of sabotaging the elves, and if I didn't deal with that, maybe then the elves would die, and they'd be like, oh, glorious death in battle, we helped, but now we're gone, and then they wouldn't show up in the final mission or something like that. It just feels like it could have had a bit more going on that would have made it feel a bit more high stakes and a bit less like filler. Um, Eddie says, I wonder if the game would have been better serviced using similar game mechanisms as Arkham Horror LCG. I have played that a few times. I enjoyed what I played of it. I played it with Barry on the channel. Actually, that was a long time ago, when I first started the channel. And when we first started doing that, that was one of our first big videos. I think Barry had managed to get a copy of that really early, close to release, and I think we covered it quite quickly during the release, and that was I remember that series getting a couple thousand views in like a couple of weeks, and I was like, whoa, they're crazy. I think it helped as well that I think we covered Blood Bowl. Matt and I played Blood Bowl at that time as well, and that was also, I think, popular. Although I don't think it was necessarily popular because we were great at Blood Bowl or anything like that. In fact, a lot of people have accused me of being very miserable in that series about all my people getting killed, my players getting injured. But which is fair enough. I think I probably was. I can't remember. I haven't watched it back since I edited it. But I mean, that's what happens in Blood Bowl, right? It's not like we're starting a campaign anyway. It didn't really matter. But I remember we enjoyed that and had a good time, and I think that was quite popular too. Suddenly the elves are Klingons? Haggers, I don't get the joke. Oh, glorious death in battle. Yes, I do get the joke. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, the elves are Klingons. Right. Well, y'all don't have an opinion on whether Balin takes forging ahead and no stone unturned. So I guess I'll take them, if only because if we are going into darkness, I can potentially get Shadow Sight, which lets me convert inspiration into successes. So if I have Shadow Sight, then these will be automatically converted. So essentially I'm getting some free sprint, possibly. And I can bugger off and generate inspiration with this too. So let us see. Did you see Ankh and the unboxing? I did actually. Yeah, Yogi Bear's like, I have no opinion. Sprint is probably useful. Fair enough. Yeah, I did see the Ankh unboxing actually. Or I watched a bit of it. I mean, I had it on mute in the background while I was doing some work, so I didn't actually listen to what they were saying. But did anyone else notice how their table camera was really green? Like the guy was like they had an inset just like I do. But the guy, their faces on the main camera, the inset camera, were great. But then whenever he had his arms on the table, their top down camera, like his skin was so green, and all the components looked really green. Did anyone else notice that? That was like, I was like, why is this happening? Why is everything so green? But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Ankh, just like pretty much everyone else, I think, who backed it. I'm intrigued. I don't know if Eric Lang will pull off a a triptych of great games or not. We'll have to see. But I like the other two. I mean, Bloodborne's great. Rising Sun I really like as well. So yeah, 30-minute videos with colors out. I mean, that should be fairly easy to fix in editing as well because I do a lot of editing, and color balance is a huge part of editing. Like ensuring that the colors on all the cameras are in line. You can easily adjust it. So I'm very surprised they didn't just literally slap a filter on it and tone down the green channel. Like, Simon, if you need some help with filming, hit me up. I'm pretty good at it, and I could always use a bit of, or send me some stuff. No, just pay me money. If I'm doing editing, I need to be paid for that. I mean, it wasn't live streamed. That's the thing. Like, if it was a live stream, it's more forgivable because it's much harder to adjust these things on the fly during a live stream, especially if you stream on your own. But I presume that they had a team of people there doing it. Like, they've obviously got like some kind of media team at Simon, or actually, it's Asmodee, isn't it? It's not even. I mean, it's Simon, but it's Asmodee. Yeah, I mean, it all looks solid. I mean, it's hard for them to go wrong, really. I say hard for them to go wrong. I mean, they could easily make mistakes, but what I mean it. I have an expectation of Simon now, and it looks like they're going to at least meet it. I mean, their productions are always a bit. Well, it's interesting actually because the general criticisms I have of Simon Productions, the same criticisms I'd apply to Bloodborne. I don't tend to observe actually in the Eric Lang history triptych because I guess that they make a bigger effort for those games, I suppose, because they've become kind of hobby tentpole games, whereas something like Bloodborne is probably a bit more niche. So they were like, well, we can cut a few corners here, or we don't need to spend the extra money to like make these various bits and pieces a bit more deluxified. Anyway, I think, guys, this is definitely the sort of the chill wrap up of the stream here. We've got Flattery and Gandalf's deck. We took Forging Ahead and No Stone Unturned in Balin's deck. So I guess we're all ready to go into the finale tomorrow. So I will come back tomorrow afternoon and we'll do that, and we'll get Shattered Paths wrapped up. So if you enjoyed the series, leave a like on the video, or if you're not subscribed somehow, please do subscribe to the channel. It's free, it helps me out, and you can also turn on the bell to understand exactly when I'm going live tomorrow, because right now I have no idea. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow to finish off the adventure. I'm excited. I'm excited that the finale is going to be on a journey map, which is not something I've seen before. Although I have only ever done one other finale, but I was really expecting this to be the finale because it was on a battle map. So let's see how they wrap it up, and we can talk a bit about how we thought the ending went, and maybe some of our wider thoughts on the game. And I will be doing a full review of it in due course. I think I've probably played enough of it to do that, but I'll probably replay the final part of Ember Crown as well, just before I do the review, and then I need some kind of review format to do that, so all in due time. But first, let's finish the game. But thanks so much for hanging out, everyone. Yeah, tomorrow's finale 2 of 11. Exactly right, Eddie. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out, everyone, and for joining me for this stream. And a big thank you to all of the people who support the channel, watch the channel, subscribe to the channel, and especially a big thank you to the patrons who support the channel on Patreon, because you guys help keep this whole thing running. And hopefully soon we're going to have a fancy new camera. I don't even know where to put it. Should it be this camera? Should it be the top-down camera? I don't know. Probably this one, right? This needs to be better. But we'll see. So anyway, you guys have helped to make that possible. So without you, this would not be as good as it is. So major thanks. But thanks so much to everyone for hanging out. And I'll see you all tomorrow for the conclusion of Journeys in Middle-earth. Okay. Good night, and bye-bye.